guys. Getting a little bit of a late start here. What we're going to do this morning is first wax the hull. I've already got the tarp all completely off Little Girl for the first time in a long time. And ultimately we're going to be doing the decks. And I've been debating whether or not to do the decks first and then the wax, or do the wax first and then the decks. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and wax and get the hull all well, I've already cleaned it, so I think we're going to go ahead and wax it. And then after I've finished washing the decks, I'll go over the hull down below with a clean, dry towel. And all that water will come right off and beat up anyway, so I think she'll still look good. I want her to look good when she goes in. It's not going to be like last year when we had this wonderful ceremony and all the people there and everything, but I still want her to look good, and especially going in the water. I want to have her looking like a classic. And that's the comment I get a lot, by the way. All right, guys, let's get going. Let's get this wax on. Okay, port is done. So I've waxed all of it. Stem to stern, all of it, port and starboard. So just gonna let it dry down. Actually, at this point, starboard's already to wipe, I think. Last year, I think I almost ruined one of my mom's old towels wiping it down. But ironically, when she washed it, it came out pretty good. Okay, so we're good. And I've even got everything all spiffed up back here over the top of Little Girl. So we'll let everything dry for just a few minutes, and then we're going to start wiping her down. All right, she's all waxed and buffed, port and starboard, or starboard and port. And what's amazing to me is that my port side is nowhere near as scratched up and messed up as the starboard. And it may be because I always boarded aft on the starboard. I always get up on the boat from the dinghy right here. Hang on. Right here. See, it's real easy to get over, because she's just fairly low in the water. And to getting off the dinghy, it's perfect right here. Coming in from the shore, coming in from the dock. Yeah. All right, well, we'll figure it out later. For now, it is what it is for this year. Everything is waxed and looking quite a bit better, minus those scratches that are out there. Some stinking bird loves to use Little Girl as a toilet. I'm sick of this. But it's all going to get cleaned up here in a minute. I'm going to use Windex and get this off initially, but then we're starting. We're going to go ahead and get going on this foredeck and just work our way back. Just completely scrubbing out the deck and getting her spiffed up to go in the water. the decks are all washed and she looks good. I'm going to have to pretty quickly here get the tarp back on her, otherwise I don't want, after all this work, I don't want the crap getting back on her before I put her in the water. So when I come back, I've got 1 day before we launch, and during that day I'm going to go over all the woodwork here, all the teak, with one more coat of linseed oil. And until then, I've done about everything I need to do on this trip. I'm going to get below and do 2 more things. I'll check the tap on the sink, make sure it's working, and it should be. I did the repair on it back during the winter, and I think everything's still working. And then the other thing I'm going to do is get some caulking on that scupper pipe. So let's get below. All right, let's get down to the cabin. Hull's all wax. So let me get down and do this one job I'm not particularly fond of, and that's to do the caulking around that scupper pipe. And I've already left the caulking down here. By the way, let me turn this around. Well, I'm not a betting man, but I'm betting this is going to work just fine. I got to tighten that thing down. There we go. It's working. Perfect. All right. The lock nut on underside of this is very, very difficult to get to, but I've got to do it. I'm not going to do it this trip. I want to get on that. Get on that scupper pipe right now. It's working perfectly. So good. And if you haven't watched that video, go back and find it. I was sent a kit. These little units are made in New Zealand, and they're still made in New Zealand, and the tune-up kits are made in New Zealand. Well, they came out with a later model, and the later model has a gasket in the bottom of the pump section that's down underneath here. And you put this little gasket in, it's supposed to make it work better. The thing that makes this thing work is a little steel ball that's in the bottom of it. And when you pump it up, it pulls the water up in and holds its pressure, because the steel ball sinks back down. Anyway, I don't know the whole logistics of it. All I know is, I forget the little rubber gasket. The steel ball that came with this original unit, which is, what, 50 years old, that sucker works, and I love this thing. It's a nice little pump. I don't remember the name of it, but works like a charm. So, yeah, good deal. Talked to my brother last night, and he's bringing over some batten material that he has, some extra batten material. May be able to make a couple of battens out of it. But one of the things I want to do when he gets here is we're going to take this mainsail of ours, mine, and spread it out on the porch and check it thoroughly to see if there are battens maybe wrapped into the folds. I'm almost positive there are no other battens in the pockets, but I got to resolve this. I mean, I can't go out there with a slimpsy outside edge to my sail that is not holding hair. So, all right, let me get to work here. I'm going to try to get this caulking on the on the scupper pipe, and just kind of cinch it up. Hopefully it won't leak this year. Yeah, we'll see. Well, there it is. I did the very best I could to get Boat Life and smear it all around the top of the pipe, and then I took a mirror and tried to look around behind it. Very difficult to see clearly back there, but I'm pretty sure that I've got a fairly thorough saturation of Boat Life down into the top of that pipe. And when I come back, I'll try to get some around the bottom. But this is where it was leaking last year, right here. This is the biggie. And it was just seep. And pretty much got that covered now, I think. So, good. One more job. My brother came over, and he brought some batten material, exactly the same stuff that I used on my batten. So I've got enough for 2 out of the 3 that I'm missing, and I'm going to go ahead and set this thing up and cut them. I've already measured, And anyway, let me just turn this around and show you what we got going. All right, here's the bottom batten pocket. And the way these are constructed, you know what, it's probably the same way on every one of them. Here, let me go ahead and get this into the slot, into the pocket. And let's push it all the way in, okay, until it stops. And wait a minute, am I on number 1 here? There it is, okay. Okay, and so what I did, I push it all the way until it stops, and I mark the edge and back it off a 1/2 inch, or actually probably 5/8, because what happens is when you get it inside here, there's a stitch, and this goes in and pushes down so that it locks it in. It can't back up from here. And so anyway, that's my mark for batten number 1. And then I did the same thing up on the top, up on batten number 3. I have 2. 2 is already there. And so when I did the same thing up on batten number 3, here's the edge of the sail and here's the back off. And that's where I'm going to cut for that batten. This stuff is from West Marine. I think I bought 6 feet of it when I did mine originally. There's a whole video on it. And anyway, it's fiberglass. It splinters. In other words, you can feel little fiberglass splinters if you're not careful rubbing your handle on it. So what I do is after I cut this, on both of these cuts, I'll take and round it off and smooth it big time with some sandpaper and ultimately steel wool. Just try to smooth down all the edges. You know, once it's in the pocket, you're not going to be thinking about it anyway, so it's no big deal. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and start the cutting. I've got my little razor saw here, which I always keep in my toolkit, and cut that off, and then I'm going to start filing and sanding. Okay, so I finally got these cut out of the longer strip. This is number 1. This is the bottom one. This is number 3. Anyway, I better go check those. Anyway, yeah, these are will fit. I already pre-measured them and everything, so they should be good to go. But you know, they start out looking like that. But I just use some number 60 grit sandpaper, and it doesn't take long to get it to look like that. You know, just take and go down the edges and bring it into a nice rounded end like that, and smooth it down. And I'm going to go over these with some steel wool too to prevent splinters and so forth when you're handling them. So anyway, that should do it. All right, I got them done. I suggest anytime you want to cut this stuff, as this is fiberglass, like I said, and anytime you want to cut this stuff, don't use a razor. Razor saw. You know, like one of the little X-Acto deals, it takes forever and a day to cut. But anyway, they're cut, and I shaped the ends with 80 grit sandpaper to round them, and then I took and went to 60 grit, then 180 to smooth the ends, and then steel wool. And so right now they are polished. And anyway, they came out very good. This center one is an original. That's one of the original ones that was still in the sail when I unwrapped it. But anyway, my brother's going to see if he's got enough material for the top batten, which is only 16 inches. But in the meantime, these will do it for the number 1, number 2, and number 3, the bottom 3. And that should put us in good stead. Well, guys, that's it. I'm in the wrap-up phase right now, getting stuff off the boat, down into the basement, because we're now out of work-on phase and into sail phase. And 2 days of work, man. Awesome. Got virtually everything done that I need to get done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit here for just a minute and read the list of all the stuff that got done. Clevis pins and that whole fiasco with the holes that were too small, whatever, that whole thing is all resolved. It took me the better part of all of one morning, part of the afternoon to get that finally resolved, including having to drill out a few of the chain plates. So anyway, Clevis pins are all set. We're now ready to put up the rigging without any glitches in the whole process. The head bucket is now on board, having been cleaned out and have the rope attached. If you need to know what a head bucket is, just figure it out. Okay, massive job cleaning up the mast, getting all the lines put on, brand new halyards, brand new main topping lift, which was an added one. I was not that. I just decided, well, I'm not. We got this much running rigging done. We're going to go ahead and trade out the main topping lift as well. So it's got all new running rigging on it at this point. It's awesome. Good job. Waxed the hull this morning. I waxed the whole hull and buffed it out. I caulked the scupper pipe as planned. The main sheet is all put together. I've got that right here in the up in the forepeak. V-berth. Forepeak on a boat, V-berth on a little boat like this. Okay, whatever. I painted the rest of the cabin top. I got, checked out the sink. That's working fine. I've ended up having to make new battens for the sail, and have all but one of them. And I think we're going to be fine without it. It's a little 16-incher that goes to the very top of the sail. So anyway, all that got done. Plus, when I got here, I realized that I had taken my tiller home, and I was going to put another coat of varnish on it, and I never got a chance. And so I had my wife look, and she found it. Thank goodness. So I know where my tiller is. Tiller's coming back down. It gets mounted into the stock back here, and we're good to go for steering the boat. The boots for the spreaders, that I'll have to find when I get home. I'm pretty sure I know where they are, but not certain. So, but we got to get that thing resolved. I got to get the boots for the spreaders on as soon as we get back here. That's before the mast goes up. So, all right, I think that's about it. Oh my goodness, it was that doesn't sound like much of a. One last thing. I did get the Traveler in place. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to cinch it down and mount it thoroughly until we get my brother's motor on here, which I'm going to be using for this season instead of using my Johnson. Stupid Johnson is just, it's not dependable. So I'm going to be using his new motor, and that is dependable, and I'm looking forward to it. So as soon as that goes in, which is going to be on Monday before we launch, then the Traveler will get cinched down and everything will be put in place, and we'll be ready to go and ready to launch. So that's it, guys. Massive amount of work got done in 2 days, and I feel pretty comfortable about it at this point. Just really about time. Anyway, hey, listen, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl. Next time I see you, it will be launch day, probably the day before launch day. It will be the Monday, the 6th of September, and we launch on the 7th of September at 10 in the morning. Well, 10 in the morning, they're picking up Little Girl, and then we launch probably somewhere around 10:30. That's it, guys. Hey, thanks. A lot of work got done, and we'll catch you the day before launch. Take care. Have a good one, and we'll see you then. Oh, I forgot a biggie. I scrubbed all these decks. Oh man, that was kind of one of the biggest ones of all. I totally forgot to mention scrubbing the decks down. They're all done. Oh, just Little Girl's shining as good as she can shine for the moment. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you next time around. See you on Monday before launch.